Hey, Battle Bill here with another video, and today we're going to get into some more Great League Go Battle lag battles. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say Go Battle lag? Yeah, because the lag's been crazy these past couple days, and I really want to upload another video. And honestly, whether it be friendship battles or it be these Go Battle League battles, but these battles are just lagging all over the place, and I still want to put out content, so it really puts me in a tough situation. So what we're going to do here is, I'm still going to show you a set of 5. I'm still sticking with my Mudboy Madness. The one thing I will consistently recommend is you get really good with certain teams, especially the ones you feel like are the most consistent. For me, the Mudboy Madness team seems to be my most consistent team. Hopefully, as Season 2 starts, I'll be able to explore some other options and get consistent with other teams so that I put out videos using other Great League teams instead of just Mudboys over and over again. But let me know in the comment section when you're sick of Mudboys, and these battles will be filled with tons of lag, but also tons of important information so that you can use this team to the best of your ability. Because like I said, my goal here is to get my rating back to that 3,000 mark. Before Season 1 ends. We have an extension on it. At first they specified a week. Now it's unsure of when the Season 2 is going to be happening. I just really hope that Niantic sees all of our complaints and all of our tweets and things along those lines, and they really do work on this lag and get it fixed as soon as possible. So I really enjoy playing this game, but what you're about to see is not something I enjoy, and luckily I got lucky with some of this lag, but even then, it's not satisfying at all. So, let's jump into the battles. First battle I have here is against Eliza Nobile. I'm gonna just stop trying to pronounce words I can't pronounce. And I get into a Skarmory Umbreon lead matchup, and what we're gonna notice here is that these battles are really filled with some serious lag, and it'll come really quick. Every single one of the, not every single one of these battles. Out of the 5 battles, I think at least 3 of them, or 4 of them, have some unfortunate lag that cost me or my opponent some situations. But let's continue. I throw a Sky Attack from my Skarmory onto her Umbreon, and she's about to throw a Foul Play through, which I have no intentions of shielding. So watch what happens when this Foul Play comes through. It did very minimal damage, and I highly doubt in the beginning of a match you want to undercharge a charge move. I highly doubt that was intentional. I felt like the bubbles probably got cut off on her, but it didn't look like there was any lag at that point. So it really just goes to show how poor this situation is in Go Battle League right now. Anyhow, I swap out Skarmory, I bring in Swampert. I'm waiting to see if she's going to swap out. She decides not to, so I'm going to go for my Hydro Cannon here. And essentially, like I will always repeat, the goal when using this Double Mudboy team is to make sure I lure out any possible grass types in the back. So Swampert essentially turns into a Meat Shield because the Skarmory Umbreon lead wasn't really a lost lead. It was more of an even one. But if I play it out and then there's a grass type in the back, my team's absolutely screwed. Luckily, she brings in a Sableye, so I'm in the clear here. Majority of the time, somebody's going to bring in their grass type, so I'm pretty safe. I don't have to worry about a grass type being her 3rd Pokemon. Going for the Hydro Cannon. She ends up shielding it, and now I'm at a shield advantage, and I'm hoping to get to another Hydro Cannon because it looked like she was going to farm down. She ended up not farming down. She's going for her charge move, so I'm going to definitely shield that. And then once this comes through, since we CMP tied, I'm going to go for my Hydro Cannon. So remember how little that foul play did in the beginning of the match, and take that into account as we get towards the end of this match. So my Hydro Cannon ends up getting shielded. She's going to most likely commit to the farm down at this point. I'm hoping I can get to the Hydro Cannon. I cannot, but that's okay. My Skarmory has energy on it. The Sableye is at like 3/4, 2/3 health. She got a bunch of energy. She's throwing her charge move here. I'm going to let this go through because I can tank a foul play, and it gets me in the red. But now I'm going to go for a Sky Attack, and this won't take out the Sableye, but it will get it really, really low. And I still got to figure out what her 3rd and final Pokemon is. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to send the Sky Attack and then go for the swap because I don't want to get farmed down. But she ends up swapping, so then I end up swapping. And now we have a Deoxys on a Whiscash matchup here, and I have a 1 shield to no shield advantage. My one hope is that she's not running Psycho Boost, but since she threw her charge move so quickly, it almost guarantees it's not Psycho Boost, because Psycho Boost nerfs Deoxys' attack, and if you're going to use it, then you want to at least charge up 2 of them, because if you use 1, then your remaining counters after that to get to the next one are going to do way less damage. So I highly recommend, if you are running Psycho Boost, to charge up 2 before using 1. Anyhow, I'm going for another Mud Bomb here. and the goal is to not shield anything she throws from her Deoxys, because nothing she throws is going to do enough damage to really scare my Whiscash. Like, this is slowly adding up. The counters are really more of a concern than anything, but I know I can tank all of this. You see how much that Rock Slide did and how much the other ones did. I'm going to overfarm here because I'm worried about her Pokemon in the back having energy. So I want to make sure that I get to my next charge move after this Mud Bomb as quickly as possible. So I throw this Mud Bomb, takes out the Deoxys. She is, I'm pretty sure, going to bring in her Sableye. And I make a slight mistake here. We're going to wait because I don't know if she's deciding or if this is lag. It didn't really look like lag. I should have farmed down her Sableye. I should not have gone for this Mud Bomb. The Sableye's health was low enough, and the Shadow Claws weren't going to take me out. If she were going to throw off a charge move, I had a shield for it. So what I should have done was farmed it down and then threw a Mud Bomb immediately at her Umbreon, because I would have won the CMP tie and I would have won the match. But luckily, I'm able to get to another Mud Bomb before she's able to snarl me down, and I am going to take this match. But look at how little health I had, and if you remember my Skarmory, that was also all the way in the red, and that undercharged foul play that I'm assuming was because of lag ended up costing her, which was really unfortunate. She has such a high rating. She was definitely a great PvP trainer, and it was a great battle, and honestly, it sucks because it's not my fault, it's not her fault, and it's the lag's fault, and the match would have played out differently had that foul play done more damage, and you can't really guarantee who's going to win, who's not going to win. So I don't want to just sacrifice my own win and sacrifice my rating either. So it's really just a toss-up. It's really hard. It's very unfortunate. Hopefully this gets fixed ASAP. But regardless, we're going into the second match. I got Skarmory on a Azumarill lead here. And I'm going to explain this plan again. Charge up to the Sky Attack. Throw a Sky Attack. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to swipe all my bubbles here. Once I throw the Sky Attack, I'm going to throw as many quick moves as I can until they throw their Charge Attack. No matter what they throw, I'm hoping it's a Hydro Pump, but no matter what they throw, I'm going to shield. Because as long as they throw after the Sky Attack, they've definitely charged enough energy for a Hydro Pump. This ends up being a Hydro Pump. I'm going to now go for the swap to lure out a potential Grass type in the back. This person decides not to swap their Azumarill out, so I'm going to charge all the way up to the Sludge Wave. We end up CMP time, and since they got so much energy, I'm pretty confident this is another Hydro Pump, so I end up shielding this. It ends up being another Hydro Pump, and honestly, as much as I'm at a 2 shield to no shield advantage, I shielded up some very big charge moves, so that was extremely important here. I throw the Sludge Wave, it doesn't go shielded, the Azumarill is now taken out, and now, as much as I'm at this disadvantage, I have all my Pokemon at pretty much full health, and they're down to 2 Pokemon with 2 shields, so I gotta wait for whatever my opponent decides to bring in. He brings in the Alolan Muck, and Alolan Muck is definitely not an answer to a Swampert. So what this tells me is that if you're going to bring in a Alolan Muck to deal with my Swampert, your other Pokemon in the back must be pretty weak to Mudboys also, meaning that my Whiscash will most likely have a positive matchup against his back Pokemon. So I'm feeling pretty good about the situation. He's going for another charge move here, ends up being a Dark Pulse. And then I try to throw a Hydro Cannon, and this Hydro Cannon does go through. I know lag is about to come up. There was another issue with lag. I can't remember where. It should be coming up soon. I throw this Hydro Cannon. It goes shielded. I try to swap because I know my Swampert's doesn't have enough energy to get to another Hydro Cannon. So I'm sitting here trying to swap. You see me tapping on the screen. You see me pull up the switch screen multiple times. I'm trying to get my Swampert out because I don't want him to get any extra energy off of my Swampert. My screen, I end up misclicking somewhere because I'm just trying to click, and then my Swampert goes down, and I am really pissed off. So another match. Second match. Second lag situation. We're still lagging. So I'm like, alright, now it's going to get to the point where it's just going to bring in the wrong Pokemon and I'm going to lose. Luckily, not luckily, I throw a Mudshot, he throws a Snarl, we're both lagging some more. Like, honestly, look at my Wi-Fi. Look at my Wi-Fi. You can look in the top right corner. I got full bars of Wi-Fi. Do not come for my Verizon connection, Niantic. Do not tell me that this is my fault and that I need to do something different to avoid this lag. This is your fault. Fix it. Own up to your mistakes. It's okay. I make mistakes too. Just like, don't pass the blame. Just fix what needs to be fixed. Regardless, they bring in a Galvantula, so that explains why they didn't. That explains why they brought in a Muck to begin with. Because Galvantula, as much as it'll take neutral damage from my Mud Bombs, because we know all about Galvantula on my channel, and Super Glassy, a Hydro Cannon from Swampert practically one-shots a Galvantula. So I understand now why the Muck came in. And luckily the rest of this match doesn't have any lag, and it doesn't seem to affect the outcome of how this gets played out. I go for a swap there, trying to catch a Bug Buzz, end up not catching it, and he ends up going for a discharge. I probably threw too early. We CMP tie, but again, Galvantula is super attack heavy, so Skarmory's going to lose that CMP tie and go down. But luckily, I already had gotten both of his shields, so I can go for this Mud Bomb. I can take out the Galvantula, and I can win these 2 lag-filled matches. So, yeah, there's that. Like, I don't even want to win this way. I can only imagine how infuriating it's got to be losing on the other end. But regardless, we want as much proof as possible about this lag, so I will continue putting out the content to showcase it. Now, let's get into my third matchup. This third match is up against Vorfitis, and Mr. Vorfitis here has some very risky plays that end up paying huge dividends for him. So let's get into that. I win lead here. I have Skarmory on Meganium lead. We're both going to throw a quick attack here, and then we're both going to swap. I go for the immediate swap. No matter what he brings in, I'm bringing in Swampert because it's most likely not going to be another grass type here. The goal here is to keep switch advantage by landing a Sludge Wave. I go for this Hydro Cannon here because he has 2 shields, and I'm hoping to bait one of those shields. This Hydro Cannon is going to be thrown, and he's not going to shield it. And I'm like, oh, this is not off to a good start. The only way I win this is if I get those shields or if I land the Sludge Wave. So that wasn't positive. He throws a Hydro Pump, which is good because he used a bunch of energy and I shielded that. But now I'm going to attempt to go for another charge move here, and I'm going to go for another Hydro Cannon because typically if I bait once, you expect the Sludge Wave right after. So I want to still get that shield from him. I throw a Hydro Cannon here. He doesn't shield that one either. Can you believe that? That had me salty. It had me really thinking like maybe he just doesn't know that Swampert has Sludge Wave. So I'm like, I'm just going to go for the Sludge Wave now and hope that he doesn't shield it. I shield this Ice Beam coming through, and now my only play here is to hope that he doesn't shield this Sludge Wave. Because now he has 2 shields, and if this doesn't land, I cannot keep switch advantage. And I need to keep switch advantage to win this match. He shields it. I'm like, had you known the Sludge Wave was coming on that specific charge move? I couldn't believe it. But regardless, this ends up costing me the match here. Not because of the Meganium lead. If I would have kept switch advantage here, I could have lined up the Skarmory at my Meganium and still won that out. By him playing some very risky but beneficial plays and making those moves and not shielding in those specific situations, he won the matchup right then and there. After I lose switch advantage and his Azumarill takes out my Swampert, I have no play here. So I'm just going to try and finagle something. I overfarmed a little bit. I'm going for the Mud Bomb here. I'm going to land it. It's going to take out the Azumarill. I'm fully expecting the Meganium to come in. And my only last hope is to overcharge and get a Frenzy Plant to land on my Skarmory. Doesn't happen. Doesn't throw the Frenzy Plant. Registeel comes in. It's lined up with my Skarmory. And this game is GG. The Registeel is going to take out my Skarmory. The Meganium will come in later, throw a Frenzy Plant, and take out my Whiscash. And I just won't have a chance there. But what I really want to stress here is I did not lose this match because of the fact that my opponent was running a Meganium. What I just really want to make clear here is when he brings in the Azumarill and I bring in the Swampert, if I land one Sludge Wave and essentially keep switch advantage between my Swampert and his Azumarill, then my Skarmory would be lined up with the Meganium and have no problem taking it out. So the main play here and the main reason why I lost was because of the Azumarill and the very risky play he made, which I give full props to, as salty as it made me. Luckily, this match didn't have any lag, so there was nothing else to blame on this, or there weren't any unfortunate situations. But I want to stress that because the next match, I don't think there's any lag in the next match either. But in the next match, I go up against an even more aggressive grass type as the lead. And I'll explain that when we get into that match. Regardless, let's finish out this one. He brings in his Meganium. He's going to finish off my Whiscash with a Frenzy Plant. He already finished off my Skarmory with the Flash Cannon there. And he won the match fair and square. Solid play. I give props. I could not believe he didn't shield either one of those Hydro Cannons. That just had me like, wow, in the moment. But anyhow, let's get into the fourth match. My opponent here is going to be, I don't know, if it loads anytime soon, that'd be great. I'm going to wait for it. There we go. Brian Yu. So, like I said, in this matchup, I end up winning lead again, and I'm going against a much more aggressive grass type than Meganium. Skarmory on Shadow Victory Bell. Shadow Victory Bell would slaughter the back end of my lineup. So I go for a quick attack, they go for the immediate swap, bring in Deoxys. I go for the immediate swap here, and I bring in Swampert. This matchup here is a lot safer and more comfortable than the Swampert on Azumarill matchup. what I have to do here to keep switch advantage is to make sure that I just go for straight hydro cannons. I don't need to land a sludge wave. I don't need to do any baiting. I just need to make sure I match his shields and I land all the hydro cannons I can possibly land. One other thing that's important in this matchup is the reason why I didn't shield the first charge attack was because I knew it wasn't a psycho boost. One thing that I don't remember if I pointed out earlier or not is that if a Deoxys has Psycho Boost, they're most likely going to overcharge, and you're going to notice he'll do a lot more counters. He threw his charge attack so quick in the beginning of this matchup that I knew it had to be a Rock Slide. So that was one other thing I want to try and make as clear as possible. My opponent is going for a Rock Slide there, and I end up shielding it. I am now going for a Hydro Cannon here, and whether they shield it or not, I can get to another Hydro Cannon. They ended up shielding it, so I know the counters aren't going to take me out. I was expecting for my opponent to bring in their Shadow Victory Bell really quick and try to slaughter my Swampert down. That's why I pulled up the switch menu. They didn't do that. They went for their charge move here. Ends up being a Rock Slide, and I'm going for my Hydro Cannon here, and this will take out the Deoxys. So notice the big difference here. My Swampert is taking out the Deoxys, whereas in the last match, my opponent's Azumarill took out my Swampert. I kept switch advantage here. They can bring in their Victory Bell, take out my Swampert. By all means, go ahead. Skarmory's going to come back in. They're going to go for the immediate swap. But now that I have switch advantage, I'm going to win this match without any doubt. Whereas in the other match, I was going to lose that one without any doubt because I lost switch advantage. If I would have lost switch advantage in this match, their Bastiodon would have been lined up with my Skarmory, and then their Victory Bell would have been lined up with my Whiscash. But because I kept switch advantage, my Whiscash is lined up against their Bastiodon, and it's just going to slaughter the Bastiodon so bad that you're going to see something at the end that I do that's kind of funny. I take out my little aggression from my last match against my other opponent for really playing risky play and it paying off for them. So I wanted to get the Shadow Victory Bell back to make it pay for my other loss. But anyhow, you'll see in a second. I overcharged so much. Watch what happens here. I get to the Blizzard before the Razor Leaves can take me down. So I just wanted to, finish this one with a little pizzazz, put a little spice on it. My Skarmory would have slaughtered this Victory Bell, would have had no problem taking it out and winning the match. But I go for the Blizzard there, and I end up taking out the Victory Bell and winning this match. So that's something really important to note here. Two very similar matches that go completely different ways. I lost the first one, won the second one. That's what's so different and unique about this team. Winning lead or losing lead isn't as important. Getting the switch advantage back or keeping the switch advantage is the most important thing with this team. Whereas with a lot of other teams you might want to use in Go Battle League, if you lose lead, you have no chance at that point. With this team, you can lose lead and have a chance, but then the risk factor comes in. If you win lead, you still have a chance of losing, but it's nowhere near high of a chance, which is why I end up having so much success and loving this team so much. So let's get into the fifth and final match. You thought the Go Battle lag went away after the first two matches. It's going to rear its ugly head. I'm pretty sure right here. We got Skarmory on Sableye, and he's going to go for his foul play, and now we're going to sit here and wait for his foul play to come through. Yeah, so awkward silence isn't fun, is it? That's how I feel when this type of lag happens, because I don't want to benefit from this. So, it's the beginning of the match, so it's tough. I don't know what my opponent has in the back. We're getting even more lag here. But it's tough for me to make a decision, because I'm like, yeah, it's unfortunate that my opponent's foul play didn't hurt me, but now do I really let him throw more Shadow Claws and then land a foul play on me to try and even things out? Because then he has to go for more Shadow Claws. And at the other time, on the other page of it, would my opponent do me that solid if I lagged and didn't get a charge move back? So it's like, how should I approach this? Because I feel bad continuing to play this out and going for the win, but at the same time, it's not my fault. I didn't cause this lag. I'm annoyed at Niantic and just as frustrated as my opponent probably is, and I don't deserve a loss just because the servers are just so bad. Niantic, please do something about it. But let's talk through the rest of this match. I'm going to go for the Hydro Cannon here. I have my Swampert on his Sableye. I brought in Swampert trying to lure out my opponent's Grass type, and he ends up staying in this matchup. So I was like, there must not be a Grass type back there. And then he makes the mistake of thinking he can get to a charge move before I can. So even though he shielded that Hydro Cannon, I got to another one before he even got to his charge move here, and I'm able to take out his Sableye, so I'm sitting even nicer in this situation. He brings in his own Azumarill, but my Swampert's practically down, so I'm not going to try and farm up to a Sludge Wave. The bubbles will take me down before I get there. So I'm going to go for this Hydro Cannon, and I'm just going to do as much chip damage as I possibly can to this Azumarill, and then it'll bubble me down. I'm going to bring in my Skarmory. It has a Sky Attack, so I'm going to go immediately for that Sky Attack, just in case the Azumarill's at a Hydro Pump. I don't want to take any chances because he did farm me down. So I land the Sky Attack, get the Azumarill in the yellow. He throws a couple more quick moves, and now he's going to go for his charge move. I decide to shield because I don't know what that last Pokemon is in the back. It ends up being an Ice Beam, and then my opponent ends up deciding to shield, bringing in a Registeel, so I'm like, alright, perfect. I'll bring in my Whiscash here. My Whiscash will essentially take down this Registeel, and then my Skarmory could deal with this Azumarill and finish off this match, and I can go 4-1. My opponent's going for their charge move here, ends up being a Focus Blast. My plan to do this properly is to just charge up to 2 Mud Bombs exactly, make sure I don't overcharge, and then go for both of these Mud Bombs back to back. I'm going to throw this first one. It's going to get him in the yellow, but what ends up happening here is that Registeel can kind of tank 2 Mud Bombs, so when I throw this next one, it's not going to take him out. But it's going to do enough damage where the Registeel cannot charge up and get to another Focus Blast. So you'll see right here, he's in the red. I'm going to try and Mudshot him down. He's going to get to one more charge move, and this is going to end up being a Flash Cannon. He does not have enough time from the first Focus Blast between those Mud Bombs to then get to another Focus Blast, just based on the situation. I've seen this matchup so many times, you really learn it after a while. Then he brings in the Azumarill. I go for my Mud Bomb here to do a little bit more chip damage. I know my Skarmory is pretty much at Sky Attack, so what I'm going to do instead of letting this Whiscash farm me down is I'm going to go for the immediate swap, and I'm going to bring in my Skarmory, go for a Sky Attack, and win this match. So that's also important. In that kind of situation, yes, I know my Skarmory's in the back with energy, but you can't leave Whiscash in there because if you leave it in there to get bubbled down, then his Azumarill's getting more energy to then essentially possibly throw a charge move at my Skarmory, and then it makes the match come down to a CMP tie. So don't take those types of risky chances. If you know your Whiscash can't get to another charge move in that kind of situation, take it out. Bring in your other Pokemon. Bring in your Skarmory and do as much damage there. Don't let them farm you down because you're not going to get to another charge move on your current Pokemon. So that's another piece of advice. But that ends up being my set of 5. I end up going 4-1 in this set. And luckily, I'm able to benefit from some Go Battle lag there, but like it doesn't feel good. And the tough like decision that I need to make in these types of matches is like the lag happens in the beginning. So how am I supposed to know what you have in the back and who would have really won or lost this match? So like, yeah, the lag ended up messing you up, but what happens if it was a match I was going to win anyway? So why should I have to now sacrifice because Niantic doesn't have their act together? So all I do here is I ask Niantic, please fix this so that I don't have to feel bad about these wins. People don't have to get screwed out of their wins. And I promise you, if it was a situation where I knew for a fact I was going to lose, like let's say in that third match where I lost because of my opponent's risky play, and let's say there was like some sort of lag there when his Meganium was on my Whiscash, and it would have let me get to like 2 Blizzards because of all that lag. I would not, I promise, you don't even have to believe me. You really don't have to believe me. But I would not have taken advantage of that lag to win that kind of match because it was clear that I was going to lose that no matter what. I would have given my opponent their dub there. But if you look at the other 3 matches that lag here, it's in the beginning. So it's like, why should I lose? But then I feel bad that they have to lose too. So, again, Niantic, I ask nicely, please get the servers together. I don't understand why this is so difficult. I just want a clean network so that Pokemon Go PvP can grow, thrive, and could have success as maybe a possible esport. I dream big. I know, I'm a dreamer. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed watching the Go Battle Lag matches, and I will see you all in the next video. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate it. I'll talk to you guys next time.